improving our structure when answering 9-mark questions in both paper 1 and paper 2. So this is the question I've got to answer. Using figure 8 and your own knowledge, assess the effectiveness of strategies to reduce regional differences in the UK. Now, you can see that I've crossed out this idea of regional differences because that doesn't really make a huge amount of sense. But what I do know that what they mean by that is the north-south divide that exists in the UK. So I'm just going to cross out that part of the question and write in something that makes a little bit more sense to me. So the question now reads, using figure 8 and your knowledge, assess the effectiveness of strategies to reduce the north-south divide in the UK. And I need to make an opening decision on how effective they are. So I'm going to say in the first sentence, I agree to a certain extent that strategies to reduce regional differences in the UK, I might signpost what I'm going to talk about, so such as HS2 and the Black Country LEP have been effective. Once I've made that opening decision, I can then write a PL paragraph using figure 8. So here is figure 8. It is a little bit of information about the Black Country LEP. And it talks about how it's a key body which determines strategic economic priorities in the region. So I can talk about how the regions that it covers, which are Dudley, Sandwell and Wolverhampton, it houses 1.19 million people and creates almost 500,000 jobs, so 463,000 jobs. So nice and simple, I'm going to use figure 8. One effective strategy in figure 8. One effective strategy to reduce regional differences in figure 8 is the Black Country LEP. Then the next part of my PL paragraph, the evidence for this is, well, the evidence that the local enterprise partnership has created 463,000 jobs, which I've collected from figure 8. So that's the next part of my PL paragraph. Next, I need to explain, so I'm going to use my old favorite phrase for this first paragraph. This means that, or TMT. This means that people in areas such as Sandwell will experience an increased standard of living, which they might use to pay for services such as healthcare or for luxury items. I use it for healthcare or for luxury items such as cars. This demonstrates that strategies to reduce regional differences in the UK have been effective, because what is that actually demonstrating if people's standard of living increases? Well, that actually demonstrates that their quality of life is going to improve because they're going to have car ownership and also paying for services such as healthcare. So this demonstrates strategies to reduce regional differences in the UK have been effective because the increased standard of living will also boost quality of life, with healthcare leading to improvements in life expectancy, meaning people in the Black Country are healthier. That's my first PL paragraph. Not really done too much, just finished off those sentence starters. I've got my point, my evidence, my explanation, and my link back to the question. Notice that link is actually probably the longest part of my answer. And when we write answers in class, it tends to be our shortest part. So think about how you can develop your point when you're linking back to the question. The next one is all about figure 8 or my own knowledge. It's a PL paragraph about the less effective strategies. So one less effective strategy to reduce regional differences in figure 8, I'm going to go from my own knowledge, is HS2. And the evidence for this is, well, I know that HS2 is really expensive. But is that the integrated transport system cost £98 billion. I'm going to use a different word or phrase other than this means that. I'm going to use consequently. The local government had or have faced economic challenges as the project is so expensive. Reducing meaning that less money is available for public services. And I used the example of healthcare before, so I'm going to use it again for public services such as healthcare. And I could say this demonstrates that strategies to reduce regional differences in the UK have not been effective because, unlike the Black Country LEP, HS2 will lead to strain on services such as healthcare, whereas more effective, so what I'm doing here is starting to compare the two strategies, whereas more effective strategies such as the Black Country, capital B and capital C, LEP, improve access to healthcare and life expectancy, because the people are going to be healthier as a result of the better access to healthcare. Finally, my conclusion from the evidence overall, I think that some strategies, do a bit of a comparison here, such as the Black Country LEP are effective as they reduce the gap in unemployment or standard of living. I've mentioned standard of living, so I'm going to stick with that. I haven't yet mentioned unemployment between the north and south, whereas projects like HS2 are not cost effective, meaning that they cost too much and they don't have many benefits. So that's a model of how we use our structure. So opening decision, 2 PL paragraphs, one using the figure, one using my own knowledge, and then a conclusion. So the question I want you to have a go at is using figure 4 and your own understanding. Evaluate the effectiveness of an ITF scheme you have studied. There's a structure strip that I'm going to upload. You've got the sentence starters or a copy of the structure strip here. So have a go at answering a very similar question, but this one is about integrated transport in Birmingham. So you're thinking about the Midlands Metro and HS2.